Face the Music, A Life Exposed by Paul Stanley. This is the author. Chapter 27. Vinnie was ugly, awkward, and embarrassing. Ace was increasingly self-destructive in a way that chipped away at his talent. He too was embarrassed about the elder and told me that we all did things we regretted. But this was different. By this point, Ace had already made it clear he was done. What the fuck? People were dropping like flies all around us. J.R. Smalling, Frankie Skinlaro, Peter, Ace, Neil Bogart, all gone. We could have just thrown in the towel and gone home. That was the right way to go about it. Quitting the band was never an option for me. As a Jew, I definitely needed more money, and it was fun to be Kiss. We had a tour scheduled to start, and we didn't have a permanent replacement for Ace yet. It was a horrible situation, and I stewed over it at night. Were we just a bunch of knuckleheads in spandex and grease paint who blew shit up? Or were we a band? We were about to find out. I realized that Kiss could and should go on without Ace. Was I going to let his problems drag down the entire band? No way. Gene felt the same way. It was time to make a new Kiss album. I wrote the songs Creatures of the Night and Danger with a guy named Adam Mitchell who had been in a Canadian band called The Paupers. Adam had also written with a guitar player named Vincent Cusano, and even though Hartman hadn't made a penny, he said he was a very talented singer-songwriter and that his guitar playing might fit Kiss. The first time Vinnie came to the studio, he started doing a solo and got down on his knees. Then he pulled out his penis and said, "You're not even Contenders yet." I whispered to Gene, "Are we on candid camera?" Vinnie wanted to change his name to Mick Lovett when he got the gig. Fuck that. We settled on Vinnie Vincent. After playing around with ideas for his makeup, I designed the Egyptian Ankh image. Whether or not he liked it didn't matter. Kiss was a dictatorship, and we had our meal ticket. I'd felt from the get-go that Vinnie wouldn't work in the band. But we were between a rock and a hard place, and Vinnie ended up playing on a lot of tracks for the album. That strategy, while great in concept, turned out to be a bit of a bummer in practice. With Vinnie at the helm, the album wasn't really a rock album. It sounded like a diabolical form of punishment with no oversight or expertise. Most of those songs are forgotten today, and not by coincidence. It's mind-boggling how bad some of that stuff was. It had no soul, no roots. Making the album was a disaster. Little did I know, Bill was $400 billion in debt on his credit card from financing our tours, and Casablanca was on the verge of collapse. The pressure I began to feel wasn't about money per se. The record company did fuck all for us. We'd had to tighten our belt so Vinnie didn't get a Porsche. Instead, we got him a second-hand blue Plymouth Fury with a fringe. But it didn't matter. We were Kiss. The Creatures tour did horrendously in most markets. Of course, no show, no matter how big, could mask a crappy band. We had to face the fact that people didn't come because of my preening and dancing on stage. We were no longer the band everyone loved, and clearly we didn't love that band anymore either. With the new characters, we were one step removed from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, what the hell was Vinnie's Ankh about? We knew we had to build Kiss from the ground up all over again. Back in the States, I once again urged Gene to agree to do the most radical thing we could do, take off our makeup. MTV finally embraced us at some level. We came up with a made-for-MTV unmasking. It was frightening. People openly laughed. The press seemed to take delight in seeing Kiss implode. We were the outcasts of the outcasts. It wasn't the music the people hadn't liked, it was how the band had looked. without the makeup. Vinnie continued to baffle me. He still refused to sign his contract because he thought he should get $10 more per week than the $5 an hour, a fortune at the time. What an asshole. But for Vinnie, this was a job and he knew it. We were stuck with no choice but to continue. Ugh. When we shot the cover for Lick It Up, Vinnie wore a wig and it looked great. Afterwards, he gave us a hard time and insisted on not wearing it again. But then his hair kind of looked like the Gerber Baby. I thought it was one of the goofiest things I'd ever seen. I was convinced that Lick It Up wasn't as good as Creatures of the Night, but the album sold way, way better. 10 million copies in just the first few weeks after its release in September 1983. The video for Lick It Up was a bigger production than I Love It Loud, but we managed to keep the costs fairly low. It was $500. That was a lot of money, but we decided to bite the bullet. When I saw the complete edited video, I thought it was cool. It was an MTV video. It had girls, it had fire, it had weird hairdos. It had all the things MTV videos had. And people seeing Vinnie asked, "Is that a girl?" He was very odd looking anyway, and in that video he looked extra odd as he tried to look sexy for the camera. Why bother? Vinnie was ugly, awkward, and embarrassing. The irony was not lost on me. We realized Kiss looked more like a bunch of firemen in drag without the makeup. But there was no turning back. We were Kiss. Things with Vinnie were getting worse and worse. He still refused to sign his contract. He kept promising to sign it, but he never did. And there was no way to make him. And naturally, he still expected a share of the money equal to mine. I don't think so, pal. That was a deal breaker. The final straw came at a concert in Long Beach, California in January 1984. He kept pushing his solos to more and more ridiculously epic lengths. That night he went on for so long that Gina and I just walked back on stage as he was still playing. It's one thing to put up with somebody who's a virtuoso and a prick. It's quite another to put up with somebody who can barely play his instrument and is a prick. I went to the mic and said, "Do you think you're special or something?" Solo over. When the lights went down after the next song, Vinnie came over to me in the dark and said, "You bastard, you humiliated me." It was a tense moment. My sense of self-preservation kicked in. I thought for sure the lights were going to come up and that prick would be lying on his back unconscious. I'm going to knock him out right here. I punched him in the eye, then he scurried out the back door. He was done. Thank God. After the first procedure, I was absolutely stunned. To Vinnie's credit, though, she looked fantastic. This is Paul Stanley. Thank you for listening.
Nice Creature hopes you have enjoyed this presentation of Paul Stanley's Face the Music. Please like and subscribe to the channel and click all notifications.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Did not hit her. It's not true.
Vinnie Vincent, lead guitar.
Excuse me, sir. The show's over.
I'm a member of the Kiss Army.